Hello, I'm James Allen. I've returned today to Cheltenham General Hospital in the UK, where I recently did a tour video of the inside of this modular cardiac cath lab, which had just been installed at that time on this site. And now I've returned to give you a tour around the link corridor, which the hospital have just completed. This cath lab will be going into clinical service in about 4 days' time, so this was a good opportunity to show you that link corridor on the basis that I think it's a particularly good example. And of course the hospital have given us full permission to film here on site today. It's -2 degrees in Cheltenham today, which is unseasonably cold even for the UK. So this is the rear door of the unit. And you can see that the hospital team have installed a little platform and some steps here. This door wouldn't usually be used, it's more of an emergency exit than anything else. But there is also a coded lockbox to keep a key in there so that engineers can access the unit out of hours quite conveniently. And then we see the link corridor itself, and you can see that this is a temporary structure designed to last for not more than a year perhaps. It's a wooden structure, but this was designed by a local architect commissioned by the hospital for this purpose, and you can see that he's really done a very nice job of this. It's using comparatively cheap materials, wood frame. Of course, he didn't have the luxury of using expensive materials in view of the anticipated lifespan of the building. But when you see inside, you'll realise the benefit of these translucent panels here. It creates a remarkably spacious and well-lit effect, very airy. And you can see coming down the side that the link corridor has been attached there to the side of the hospital. And I'll show you inside in a moment. Well, I'm inside now, I'm glad to say, a little bit warmer in here. I thought I'd just explain why it is I'm taking the trouble to make a video about what is, after all, the inside of a corridor. Not a particularly interesting subject, you might think, but let's look at this from the perspective of a hospital procurement team or a clinical team who need to obtain cath lab functionality quickly. In many instances, AGITO Medical can install one of these new generation modular cardiac cath labs in a matter of days, and in itself that will provide full cath lab functionality. But at the end of the day, the hospital has a cath lab usually in the middle of a car park, and so it has to be planned from the outset to build a suitable link corridor to provide the seamless pathway for patients and in order to retain suitable infection control capabilities. So let's have a look at this one. You can see what a great spacious and airy place this is, and very well lit thanks to the translucent panels entirely down one wall. And the patient really will have not very much of an inkling that they've actually left the main infrastructure of the hospital. And the AGITO cath lab is fully integrated straight through into the lab. The single door there into the control room. The hospital also specified a small annex at the end of the corridor here, which also has a sink installed. So this is a very nice example of how you can construct a link corridor for a medium-term hire of a facility such as a modular cath lab, and it will provide the very best service that you might reasonably expect for your patients. And also, of course, retain the necessary infection control capabilities that you most especially need for a cath lab.